be Election Day. But for me, it's the eve of Election Day. And everyone's asking the question, is Donald Trump going to be the president of the United States again? It's starting to look that way, but we'll see how it plays out. But first, I wanted to take a look at his very first rally. The first time he ever assembled a crowd and did what Trump does when he hops in front of a crowd. This is very nostalgic. This is really crazy to think this was almost 10 years ago. We're also going to go over some of the most common policies that we would be looking at under a current, or I would say the new Trump administration, and also a little finance information about what he plans to do with the economy and where your money would be best spent. So let's get right into it.
We are going to make this country so great again. We are going to work. We are going to work so hard. And I will say this. When we had our event last night, I saw hardened veteran reporters who were crying. You had to see this. People that I've known for a long time that I don't even like. They're not good people. How you doing back there? And one in particular, tears are streaming down his face, and I'm saying, I don't believe what I'm saying. I didn't think he had a tear in him. And some of the people that spoke were absolutely amazing. One, their child was killed by an illegal immigrant, shouldn't have been here. And this really began for me. It's very interesting because when I started,
from July
and when I announced,
11th,
don't forget, everybody said he's never going to run, right? Then they said very strongly, you know, these are real knowledgeable people. They don't know anything.
This is Trump's first rally he ever held.
Then they said he'll never file his FVC paper. Well, I filed that 2 weeks ago. They said, oh, wow. Well,
9 years ago, guys.
Then they said,
as you could tell by the quality,
he'll never file his financials because he's not as rich as people think. And they get filed during this week. And by the way, some of the other candidates will not be filing from what I hear, okay? And when they file, the number is actually much higher than anybody ever knew.
This is nostalgia, guys.
And I'm
9
not saying
years
that to
ago,
brag.
first Trump
I'm
rally.
only saying that because that is the kind of thinking our country needs. We need thinking where trade deals with China, with Japan, with India, with everybody. We're getting ripped. We're being taken apart piece by piece, slowly. Slowly. China laughs at us. They laugh at our stupidity. They laugh at our incompetent politicians. They have geniuses negotiating for them.
Imagine what the politicians thought at this time. The first time he showed up on the stage.
And by the
9
way,
years ago,
officially, and I've only said this about 200 times, but it never gets reported. I love the Mexican people. I love the spirit of the Mexican people. I love them. Many, many people from Mexico, legal. They went in the old-fashioned way. They're legal. Many, many people from Mexico work for me. And over the years, thousands of people, Hispanics, have worked for me. And many, many work for me now. But thousands. They're incredible people. By the way, nobody ever says that. Nobody ever says that. They always cut that out. And I'll go a step further.
If you're just hopping on, this is Trump's first Trump rally
as a country.
9 years ago.
But the
July
problem we
11th.
have is that their leaders are much smarter, sharper, and more cunning than our leaders. And they're killing us at the border, and they're killing us in trade. They're killing us.
This is crazy. Look at the old school Trump signs, guys.
And every once in a while, I'll see a rally And it's put up by the Mexican government, in my opinion. People come in, they're so perfect. They're like central casting. And you know how long the rallies last? Like about 12 minutes. They go home. But when you do, and I've said this often, it's very, very hard for a very successful person. And I've heard it.
There's a lot of Trump love in the chat, guys. Make sure you double tap that screen. Show your love.
And I find it. And I have headlines every day. ESPN drops Trump. A friend of mine in Paris called, "Oh, Don, it's too bad about ESPN." You know what they were doing?
Yeah, my God's honest opinion, like my gut feeling, I truly pray Trump gets in. Look at our country. We have weak
and then
leaders.
I rented it to somebody else.
Kamala
I made
Harris
two for the price
is
of
very
one.
weak. I'm not going to say she's a horrible lady. I think she might be a sweet, beautiful lady. But the thing is, she's weak in comparison to Trump. And these times call for a strong leader.
NASCAR drops Trump. No, NASCAR. And then friends of mine call up from Europe. Headlines, NASCAR. Don, it's too bad about NASCAR. I feel so. You know what that one was? They rented a banquet hall at Trump National Doral in Miami for one evening. I took their deposit.
You know the crazy thing is, guys, this being Trump's first ever Trump rally, he looks exactly the same. Same posture, same energy,
I took their deposit,
same comfort level.
And you know what? I just rented it for much more money than
9
they were paying,
years,
so it's
and nothing's changed.
two for the price of one. You know, I may make money
He's
running
9
for
years
president.
younger in this video, but he still has that same
Then
essence
all over the
to him.
place, I hear Macy's. Now, Macy's hurts
You know,
because
like
the head
some
of Macy's,
people hop on stage and it takes a while for him to become comfortable. This guy just hopped right into it. That's what I appreciate about Trump.
And I'm
He's
getting
never
ready to go on to
changing.
make a speech.
He's not putting an act on. He's
It's
just
like
him.
6:30 in the evening, and I get a call from Terry Lindgren of Macy's, and the speech is packed. Packed. It's a house. It was supposed to be in the house.
The thing is, Kamala Harris looks weak in the eyes of foreign governments and foreign leaders. You might see her as a strong woman, but I promise the rest of the world does not see her as a strong leader. She's in office right now.
My phone rings, my cell phone.
They saw how she handled the border. They saw how she handled the withdrawal from Afghanistan.
And you know, we have Donald Trump, the American dream.
You might think she's strong, but the rest of the world and the people that could see the truth know that she is not the right option for this country.
It's like my best friend. I said, Terry, what's your problem? He said, you're very controversial.
And it's crazy. The rest of the world loves Trump. Brazil loves Trump. Puerto Rico loves Trump. Japan loves Trump. People that escape China love Trump. They have huge rallies over in Europe. People love Trump all over the world.
People saying they're going to boycott Macy's. I don't know what to do. I said, Terry, be tough. They'll be gone. One day.
The thing is, Kamala's really good at putting on a persona. She like plays a part in front of the camera. That's why she only does scripted interviews. She only does scripted debates. She only goes and hops on stage at her rallies for less than 30 minutes because it's all a show.
He said to me, please,
politicians are actors.
Can I cut you?
They're paid actors.
It's not a big deal. I'm selling ties. And you know what? Honestly, they were made in China, so
Trump
I didn't care that much.
ungovernable. He stands out like a sore thumb because he is not part of
So I'm walking up the stairs to make a speech, and I have Lundgren saying, I'd like to cut you because he's going to get some bad publicity, he thinks. And I walk upstairs, and he said, and now the American dream. And I'm still talking to Lundgren, and it's like a minute and a half before I walk on stage. People say, what happened? And I made a good speech. No notes, no nothing.
Hey, guys, I got to share a win.
Was happy.
All right?
And I just got cut from Macy's.
To take
and here's the bottom line on Macy's.
My ex-girlfriend
thousands and thousands of people
how to register to vote even though she thought it was too late. She sent me a picture and she had a picture with 3 of her friends that have never voted. She got 3 people to get up today and go
Then I
out
get a
and
call
vote.
from NBC.
How cool is that?
Now let me tell you about NBC.
So I'm giving
no,
a
I gotta
little
tell you.
call to action to everyone in the chat right now.
Hey,
If
look,
you
I love
guys
the
haven't
people at
voted
NBC.
yet,
We had a
or
tremendous
you know
success
someone, it's time
with The
to reach
Apprentice.
out to people because
And they
this race
renewed
is
The
going to be
Apprentice.
won
See,
by
I give up a lot.
hundreds.
You're going to see
Hundreds
how
of
much
votes.
money I made with The
It's going
Apprentice
to be a
come Wednesday or
super
Thursday when I
close
do my file.
race.
Seriously,
The
it's
polls
very
might show
lucrative.
Trump
It's great. When you have
killing
a big
it, but the
television show,
thing
it's like,
is,
you're a movie star, you get a lot of money, right?
you never know what's going
Not
on.
that much, but a
Make
lot.
sure you
But you're
reach
going to see
out to your
very
friends and
impressive
family and
numbers.
say,
So
hey, get out there.
NBC
Tomorrow's
calls me, we'd
election
like
day,
to see
guys.
you.
It's no more
Now,
just sitting around
they don't care
idly.
about
It's time
inclusion.
to go have
They
your
were talking
voice
about
heard, no matter who
inclusion.
you're voting for. Get out there,
You know, they write the press
make your
release.
voice be heard.
So
But there's a
I read
lot of
this. I
people
say,
that
this is
love
incredible.
and
But
support
they
Trump,
called
but the
me,
thing is they don't
and
register. They
a
just
couple
say,
of months
yeah,
ago,
go Trump.
the head of
No,
NBC comes
we
to
need to
see
get
me.
out there. It's a numbers
And the
game.
head of NBC's boss, I don't want to mention names because they're really good people. They're friends of mine, although I probably will never speak to them again either. And
But if
you
you're
know what the
just
head of
hopping on,
NBC's
guys,
boss, that's Comcast
we're
because they own
watching one
NBC.
of Trump's
So I get a
very
call, the head of
first
reality for
rallies.
NBC,
Look
the
how
head
old the
president of
signs are.
NBC, and the head of everything, head of Comcast.
This is July
And they come
11th,
see me a number of months
2015,
ago.
his first
Please
rally.
do The Apprentice. Please, they won't deny it. They won't deny it.
And he looks exactly
I said,
the
I
same.
can't. I want
It's
to make
insane.
America great again. I've done The Apprentice now for 12 years. And it's a great show. For 12 years, there have been 14 or 15 copies
Look
of
at
The
all
Apprentice.
this Trump
Everyone
love in
failed.
the chat,
Every
guys. Make
single
sure
one.
you double tap that
I mean, I could give
screen.
you the names, but I don't want
Double
to
tap
embarrass
it.
me.
Pulse check, guys. Tap your
Give you a couple
screen
of
right in
names.
the middle and it'll throw a thumbs up.
No, nice people. Mark Cuban did one called The Benefactor. Was a disaster. Richard Branson did
Now
one.
we know why
Great
Mark
guy, but
Cuban
it didn't
doesn't
work
like
out.
Trump.
Tommy Hilfiger, who I love, tenant in my building, great guy, didn't work out. Hilton's did one. Martha Stewart did one for us. Did one for Mark Burnett and Donald Trump. Martha Stewart. She just got out of the can. No, it's true. She's hot as a
You guys
pistol,
remember
right?
when Martha Stewart got
They show her
arrested?
coming
That was
out.
crazy.
You know, she's got
But hey,
the whole thing with the...
check this out,
whole-
guys. You want to see something crazy? This is a list of every rally Trump has, or every Trump rally that has happened. This is all 2015. So before 2016, he did 500 rallies. That's just 2016. Here's all the locations for the general election season. That's right before he became president. Isn't this insane? Do you know how many rallies this guy has done? It's something around like 900 rallies. That guy goes balls to the walls. If you think about it, he did 4 rallies today. He did like 3 interviews and 2 podcasts. And he's been doing that for 64 days straight. How insane is that, guys? This man does not stop. If you've ever seen someone that works for it, like without giving up, this is the guy. Now, here's the list of post 2016. Here's all the other rallies. 2017, 2018. My fingers are going to get tired from scrolling all these rallies. This guy's been to every part of the United States. This guy's working his ass off. And every time it's a message of, I love you guys. I love the United States. I love fighting for you. Every time he says, hey, I could be on beautiful beaches anywhere in the world right now. He's all, I don't need to be doing this. I've made enough money in my life where I could just kick back, relax. I could see the most beautiful shorelines. I could go to the mountains. I can move to a different country and just live out the rest of my life. But he always says, I'd rather be here with you. And how unifying is that? Like, I mean, he took a prominent Democrat named RFK, the Kennedy. If you've heard of JFK, this is his nephew.
President.
And this is his message.
We had a very good
Donald
talk.
Trump's bringing this guy onto his team.
He invited me to come
make
see him the
America
next day,
healthy
and I
again.
went to Minneapolis and saw him. We met again
a couple of weeks later in Florida. And we talked about, not about the things that separate us because we don't agree on everything, but on the values and the issues that bind us together. And one of the issues that he talked about was having safe food and ending the chronic disease epidemic. Our children are now the unhealthiest, sickest children in the world.
Listen to this.
Don't you want healthy children?
Amen.
And don't you want the chemicals out of our food?
Definitely.
And don't you want the regulatory agencies to be free from corporate corruption?
Yeah. Fuck yeah, guys. Double tap the screen
And
if you
that's
agree.
what President Trump told me that he wanted. He also told me that he wanted to end the grip of the neocons on U.S. foreign policy. He said he didn't want any more $200 billion wars in Ukraine, that we could use that money back here in the United States.
Amen. We got homeless vets sleeping on the streets while immigrants are getting luxury hotels and airplane tickets, guys.
And the safest, the best way to build a safe America is to rebuild our industrial base and rebuild the middle class in this country.
That's us, guys. We're not celebrities. We're not politicians.
More $200 billion wars in Ukraine, that we could use that money back here in the United States.
Because if you think about it, guys, you got celebrities telling you who to vote for. They live a completely different life. If the cost of living goes up $30,000, they're not going to notice it. We are.
Is to rebuild our industrial base and rebuild the middle class in this country. And don't you want a president who's going to get us out of the wars and who's going to rebuild the middle class in this country?
I do. 100% I want that man.
And he told me that he wanted to end the censorship because the whole basis of American democracy is the free flow of information. And we know that a government that can silence its opponents has license for any kind of atrocity. And can you think of any time that you can look back in history and say that the people who were censoring were the good guys?
No.
They're always the bad guys, because it's always the first step down that slippery slope to totalitarianism. And don't you want a president who's going to protect America's freedoms?
I certainly do.
It's not filled with chemicals that are going to give them cancer and chronic disease.
We don't see Kamala
And
talking
don't you
about
want
this
a president that's going to make America healthy again?
Yeah. We have food sold in America, guys, that is illegal to sell in Canada. America is in ties with Monsanto, like major corporations, where they make tons of money off of our bad health. And it's disgusting. Now, this is my biggest factor right here. If you're an undecided voter, this is what sold it to me. Because at one point, our country was one of the healthiest, richest, safest populations. Back in 1960, we were in the top 10 of every metric. We are now one of the most unhealthiest populations in existence. And it's disgusting. But this is CNBC. This is not going to be right biased, guys.
$100,000 household income no longer buys the American dream. Go Banking Rates analyzed how much a family of 2 adults and 2 children would need in each state to own a home, a car, and a pet, as well as have an additional 20% of their income for savings and 30% for discretionary spending.
The core of what the American dream means is some amount of economic security, that you feel like you can get by and do a bit better. Maybe do better than your parents, maybe be able to afford a house, certainly be able to save for your children's future.
All 50 states require more than a $100,000 annual income,
Isn't
with
that
38
insane,
states
guys?
needing more than $140,000.
Remember when you
The
thought
most affordable states,
$100,000 made
Mississippi,
it?
Arkansas, and Kentucky, need between $109,000 and $117,000. The median income for a household of 4 people in each of those states in 2022 was between $71,000 and $87,000. Hawaii, California, and Massachusetts are the most expensive. Each requires an
I'm
annual
stuck in that
income of
one
more than
right there.
$240,000. The median income for a family of 4 in those 3 states in 2022 fell at least $94,000 short of what's required for the American dream. A different analysis from EPI found that in about 80% of the country, a family of 4 can afford their basic needs on less than $100,000 per year. Those include things such as housing,
Let's hear
food,
it in the chat,
transportation,
guys. Are you
healthcare,
sick of
childcare,
how much
taxes, and a
cost
few
of
other
living
basic
has gone up?
necessities.
It doesn't take into account anything extra. It's really just putting food on the table, putting a roof over your head, getting health care for
This
your
is
family. So you're not
CNBC
saving for a
talking
rainy
about the
day if
American
something
dream.
happens to somebody
Why
or
a
if they lose their job.
$100,000
So
salary
there's no
cannot
extra
buy the
in there
dream
for retirement,
anymore.
for kids' college. Those are the kinds of things that many people want to save for. Those are the many things that people consider a part of the American
The reason
dream.
people are
Only
going
about
MAGA, guys,
3% of those
is because
counties
we're
have a
sick of
median
it. We're
income
done.
higher
We're
than the
taking a
basic cost
stand.
of
We're
living.
done with these
The
bureaucrats.
idea
We're
behind the
done
American
with what's
dream
going on
hasn't
in
really
this country.
changed, even
We have
though
bad
lifestyles
leadership.
have. It used to be that you could get out of school, get a job, buy a home, and start a family, and now those milestones are harder to achieve.
Used to be that a high school degree,
So if
good
you're
to go. You can get a
undecided,
great
Kamala
job,
Harris
building
is in
cars or
office
something, and
right
be right
now.
in the middle class.
She's been
off of a
given
high school degree.
portfolio
But now,
tasks from
in order
the
to get into
President of the
middle
United
class,
States.
a high school degree
She was
is
there for
clearly
every
not
major
enough, right?
decision,
Now,
and you've heard
you've
it
gotta
from her own
pay for
mouth.
college.
People are
She was the
graduating
last
with
one in
much
the
larger
room
student
for the
loan
withdrawal
balances,
from
and
Afghanistan.
then it's harder
She
to
was
be on
in
that same sort of
control
career
of the border
trajectory that
for
would provide the
migration.
stability that you maybe would
Look
have had a
what
generation
she's done
ago
to
to
this
save
country.
up for the down payment on a home.
Student loan debt reached an all-time high of $1.77 trillion in the first quarter of 2023. This can have a ripple effect, especially when entire generations are starting their adulthoods with thousands of dollars in debt.
Think about
So
your
when you think
kids,
about the kinds
guys.
of investments
If
you want
you're
to make for
voting
your
for
children,
Kamala
the cost
because
of
she has
college
good
has gone up a lot
personality, you might
faster
be
than overall
completely
inflation. So trying to
screwing
make
your
those
children.
investments on a smaller and smaller paycheck compared to the
Your
cost
your
of living
kids
can
aren't
be
going to
very
care about a
difficult and almost
personality
impossible.
of some
And so the kinds
politician
of
they've
debt that young
never heard
people
of.
can rack up going to college
Everything's
gets
about
larger and larger,
policy,
and your
guys.
ability to then make ends meet yourself, be able to buy a car, be able to move out of your parents' house, those things become much more difficult over time.
The American dream typically is people owning property and
Let's hear it in the chat, guys. Is that all our dream? Do we truly wish to just have a happy life where we get to share it with our loved ones and our friends, where we get to be able to buy a house, where we get to be able to buy a car, and we're not just crippled by debt? Because right there it says the average income needs to be about $117,000 a year to just stay afloat. To have a good life, you need to make about $200,000 a year. Now, I'm happy if you're in that scale, but I'm pretty sure the majority of people on this chat right now, they're not hitting $200,000, and we just want to live a good life too.
Outfit that she's wearing.
Back
the whole
to
thing. I said, what
Trump
a great
in
idea.
2015. Let's see if
So we
this
actually did The
echoes
Apprentice done
with
by us. It
today's
wasn't even a copy.
message.
It was called The Apprentice. Within a little nice to be you. Have their star. And everybody else failed with similar shows. And they're angry.
It feels like we're watching a show right now, guys. Who agrees? This whole election, it feels like a drama, 100%. It feels scripted, guys. I've seen Trump in the lead for the past 3 weeks.
If you're gonna say and they would have did nothing. Because now they're after him.
They called
So what are they
Trump a
gonna do for us?
racist, but his
Nothing.
first rally,
We
who
have to
does he
trust
bring
Donald
up?
Trump the way you trust your mom and your dad when you was growing up. You don't have to you don't have to believe everything.
You gotta
they
remember,
believe.
Trump
You
was
don't
an
have to do
icon.
whatever they say.
Trump
But you have to
was
trust
an
them.
American
That's your mom. That's your dad.
icon.
It's somebody that
Everyone
believes
loved
in.
Trump
And like I
before
always
this day,
say,
before
when
he
people
ran for
don't
president.
want to hear what I have to say, ask yourself, what would you do if somebody killed your kids?
I would lose it.
Thank you, Jamil. So, amazing story. By the way, Jamil's sister's here too. And she told me the story that when Jamil saw the boy laying on the sidewalk dead, this incredible young man with such a future. Jamil laid down on the sidewalk and started pounding the sidewalk with his hand and badly damaged his hand. Badly. He couldn't understand it. He couldn't believe it. Just an amazing guy. I mean, just an amazing guy. And he wasn't being heard. He wasn't being heard. And the only reason I heard him is because he was talking on a show.
Someone says Trump
He
was never
mentioning
an
how
icon.
badly they've all been
He's the
treated. And
most
then you have in San
popular
Francisco
person in the
a
world.
beautiful young woman, Kate,
He's in
and
movies. He's
killed
in rap
by
songs.
somebody that just pleaded
He makes
innocent. First
cameos in
pleaded
so
guilty,
many TV
Now he
shows.
has a good lawyer.
Saturday Night Live.
And went into court.
He was on
pleaded
Time
innocent.
Magazine. He built the
And they'll be
skylines
playing
of
around
New
with him
York
for about
City.
15 years in court.
What do you mean Trump wasn't an
And
icon?
probably he'll get off too. It's a horrible thing that's going on with our country. And these are two people that should be alive. And these are people that shouldn't have been in this country.
That's right. There was no wars under
They
Trump.
flow in like water.
People are just
And I
finding
love
reasons
legal
to be upset
immigration.
during his
I
presidency.
love it. I love it. I think it's great. My wife is a legal immigrant. I mean, she went through a whole long process. It's not easy. And we should maybe make it easier and faster, which I think is fine. And we'll have great people come in. And we'll have them come in from all countries. Mexico, everybody, every place. These are great people. And you know, one of the things that I've seen, somebody says, well, because there's been an amazing week. And, you know, it's been like an incredible week because I thought I was going to be the jobs person. Because every poll, CNN did a poll the other day. I'm killing everybody on jobs. I'm killing everybody on leadership. You know, like, it's like funny. I was like, you know, I went through these different the only thing I'm not killing, a lot of people don't like me. I said, what difference does it make? This is about competence. Somebody said, you win on leadership by far. You win on absolute economic, financial, anything having to do with the economy. You like lapping the field much, much harder
During
than
Trump's
anybody else.
administration,
But they said,
Afghanistan,
but a
we
lot
were
of people
still
don't know whether or
present
not they
in
like me. I'm actually a
the
nice
area.
person.
It wasn't an act of war.
But I actually said, if I'm winning in these categories, why
The
are we
Taliban
even
would
going through
actually
primaries? Hillary Clinton's
attack
going to be a
American
horrible
soldiers,
president.
and Trump went to the leader of the Taliban
It's
and
horrible.
said, hey, if another American soldier
If she
is
even
touched,
wins her own primary, which I
and
don't
he
know.
handed him a
And by the
photo
way, just
of
so
his
you understand,
house, and the leader
even
of
the
the
press will say,
Taliban said, why are you
this
showing
crowd
me a
today
picture of your house?
blows away anything that
And he
Bernie
told the
Sanders is saying.
interpreter,
That I can
if another American soldier gets unalive,
tell. But if you think
I will
about it,
unalive you. And he walked out of the
Hillary
room.
Clinton was the worst Secretary of State
Trump is a strong
in the
leader.
history of our country. The worst.
Foreign leaders, world governments,
blew up
they
around
fear him and
Our
respect him.
enemies are a disaster. Our friends, and they hate us more. Our friends are all gone. They're all gone. They're all sort of like, we don't get along with anybody. Everybody's ripping us off.
Trump is straight
Whether
up
it's
alpha.
Russia
He
or
is
you know what
an
we've done?
alpha male. When he
For
goes
20
to
years,
World
I've heard the
Economic
worst thing that
Forums,
could
when he
happen
goes to see
would
foreign
be if
world
Russia and
governments,
China start
he
uniting.
steps in front
We've
of
united
everyone.
them
He pulls them in
because
with
we
a
did
handshake.
things that were
He
very
shows
onerous
dominance
because
over all
Obama
these people.
doesn't like
Kamala
Putin.
Harris, I promised they
doesn't
would shake
respect or
everyone
like
else's hand and then
Obama.
hers.
And all of a sudden,
I
Russia
promise
and
she
China
wouldn't
now are
step
doing all
forward in
sorts of
front of
things
people.
together. So we've driven them together.
She doesn't
And I've
know what to
always
do.
heard
She's
that's
playing a
disaster.
part.
And it is a disaster. We have driven them. So Hillary Clinton was the worst. Now tell me something. Why would she
Yeah,
Why?
the
Just tell
deal
me,
with the
why would she be
Taliban
good?
was
She'd be
if
terrible.
another
Who would
American
you rather
soldier
have
loses their
negotiating
life,
a deal, a trade
the
deal,
leader of the Taliban
with
will too.
anybody? Trump or Hillary?
Trump or Kamala?
Well, we have to get there first. So, who would you rather have negotiating a really good deal with? Mexico, China, Japan, Trump, or Jeb Bush?
Right there, guys. Do you want Kamala Harris dealing with China,
So,
Russia, North Korea?
when I started, I really thought
Come on,
it would
wake up to the
be,
facts,
you know,
guys.
a long
Kamala Harris would
slog,
not do
and
well
I
in
was
that
okay with it.
environment.
I didn't think that
If
the
someone goes off
immigration
script
thing
with a
would take
question,
on
she doesn't know what
a
to
life
do.
like it has.
She'd probably
I
start
made some
talking
very
about her
tough statements
childhood
about people
with
flowing through,
Putin
because that's
when
one
they're
of the
talking
things
about ending
to
a
make
war.
our country great
Well,
again.
I grew up
We
in a
have to
middle
create borders,
class
otherwise we don't have a country.
neighborhood.
So it's one of many things. And I've been very strong on it. It's one of many things. We have to make great
You
trade
know,
deals.
Kamala
and all.
Harris failed
So I
her
said,
bar exam.
strong borders, one of the things.
You know,
I
the
said
only
trade
reason
deals.
she
Who would
got
do better?
into
I
college
know, I'll tell you
is
what.
because she was
I
part
know
of a
the greatest
program.
negotiators in the world. Some are horrible people, horrible human beings.
Her
Who
parents
cares?
were a professor and a
Some Wall
doctor.
Street guys, they're brutal, they're miserable. You wouldn't want to go out to dinner. They're terrible people.
Yet somehow she got some
love 'em.
government grant to go to school.
I know the best. I know people that are totally overrated. They're not good like they think and like the press thinks. I know people that you never heard of that are better than all of them.
He's the one that set
would take one, put him
the
in charge of
conditions for the
Japan.
withdrawal from
Good luck.
Afghanistan.
You know who's our primary representative right now?
And his
Carolyn
plan to get out
Kennedy.
of Afghanistan was to get all of
You know how she
our
got the job?
equipment
60
and
minutes.
all
She went to
of
the White House.
the American
She said,
workers and
"I'd
all
love
the
to have a job.
interpreters out, and then
have
remove the
nothing to do."
military.
They said,
Kamala
"How
Harris
would you
did
like
it
to be the
backwards.
ambassador
She
to
took
Japan?"
the
She goes,
military
"Really?"
out first and left people.
And
There's still
Abiy
people
from
stranded
Japan,
there.
who's a killer. He's great. He's already knocking the hell out
Look
of
at
the
Kamala
end, by the way,
Harris right now.
which makes it even
We
more
have
impossible for us to compete.
hostages
And he's whining and dining her, and I
in
watch it all the
Israel
time,
and
whining and
Ukraine
dining.
right now.
And just
American
doing a number on our
hostages.
country. A friend of mine is a great excavator. That's what he does. He digs foundations. He digs lots of dirt, earth. But he's a great excavator, big. And he always bought Caterpillar. And he calls me up recently and he goes, "I'm a little depressed." Why? I just put in a big order for machinery, for excavating equipment. I said, "Oh, that's good. Did you buy Caterpillar?"
That's what I
No.
do, by the way, guys.
bought
If you want to
Komatsu.
check out the page,
I said, "You bought
I got the big
Komatsu?"
old
"It's fine.
excavators,
I mean,
the
it's a well-known
caterpillars.
brand." I said, "You bought Komatsu, why?" He said, "Because Japan, this is very recently, has so devalued the yen, brilliant, smart, these are
Got a
smart people,
Komatsu too.
that it made it impossible for me to buy Caterpillar tractors. I owe it to my family. I owe it to my employees. I owe it to myself. I have to do what's right for my company. So it made it impossible.
We need to make
So he
Caterpillar
ordered-
great again.
Komatsu instead of Caterpillar. This is happening all over the place. Today,
Guys, if you're
in the Wall
just
Street
tuning
Journal,
in,
big
this is
story.
Trump's
Ford
first ever rally
going to build
over
tremendous
9
plants
years
all
ago.
over the place overseas.
Look at the date at the bottom of the screen.
Ford, by the way,
Look at the old
speaking
signs.
of Mexico, again, I respect them. I wish our Lord, I wish we had
He
smart
still
people.
looks the same. Same energy.
Ford
It's
is
crazy.
building a $2.5
His first rally.
billion-dollar plan. Who ever heard of this? $1 billion plan. $2.5 billion in Mexico. Now, here's the story. Now think of it. So I'm saying to myself, that's not good. And in addition to that, in Tennessee, a big plant, $1.2 billion, was going to be built in Tennessee.
No, it's actually
Wall Street
29.
Journal. And all of a sudden, the last moment, they
25.
decide to go to Mexico. It's going to be built now in Mexico by a big German car company. And Tennessee is great.
I actually didn't vote for
And the
Trump in
people were great. They all thought
2016.
they had it.
I
And at the
didn't.
last moment, goes to Mexico. So I said to myself,
I was actually
wow,
going to vote for
$2.5
Bernie
billion.
Sanders.
And they're gonna make
That will tell you
cars
how educated I
trucks
was back then.
and parts. And they're going to send them into the United States.
I was falling
No
for the
tax, no
Democrat
nothing.
lie.
Now, I told you, I went to the Wharton School of Finance. I was like, I'm like a really
I
smart
believed
person.
that the government had my best
uncle-
interest in mind.
Was it Dr. John Trump was at
Isn't
MIT,
that funny?
one of the
People
smartest
actually
people, great
believe
engineer,
politicians
great,
care
like,
about them.
you know, smart, right? For many years, he was at MIT. And I'm saying to myself, where does this help us for Ford to
It
build a
tells
plant
you
in
I
Mexico
go with the
and then sell
crowd.
without
Supporting
tax?
Trump is going with
No
the
tax.
crowd. Are you kidding me?
All it means is one thing, that we don't build a plant in the United States, whether
Democrats
it's in
have the
Phoenix
most
or
dangerous
anywhere.
rhetoric.
This is being
They
built in
say
Mexico.
the most hideous things.
You're right.
Do you hear
That
what
one
they're
I
calling
like.
Trump right now? Calling the Madison
So I
Square
said to
Garden
myself, okay,
a Nazi rally?
Jeb Bush
Like,
is
come
president.
on.
And he knows
Supporting
it's the
Trump
wrong
is
thing.
punk
Right now we
rock.
have Obama.
It's
He won't
not
call.
following
He
the
doesn't even
crowd.
call
The
to get our
crowd
hostages
follows the
back
same people that
from
have been in
Iran.
power
Here
for
we
the
are in the middle
past
of a
half
deal,
century.
and he doesn't call about that. One
Same
sentence, I'd
people
say,
that got us
you
into
gotta, before we start,
Afghanistan.
get those people back. Used to be 3, now it's 4. Get those people. They'd be back the next hour. You need the right messenger. The Iran deal is a disaster. The Iran deal is a disaster. They're begging our chief negotiator.
I watched
at
the whole
73 is in a
MSG
bicycle
rally.
race.
I watched
he
the
falls
whole
and breaks
thing.
his leg. This is the mentality we have.
And it's funny, people
So
on
I
the
said,
left
what
are
would Jeb Bush
upset
do
by a joke from a
to get-
comedian.
You're right, Benghazi, another Benghazi.
And you guys probably
You hear
don't
our
understand that
politicians,
Puerto
John
Rico
McCain,
has a
2 days.
massive
Oh,
trash
Benghazi, you don't hear
problem.
about it anymore.
They don't know where to
Hillary
put their
Clinton
trash.
with emails,
It's
all the
everywhere.
emails, 2 days. I'm more
So when the
disappointed
comedian
in the
says Puerto
Republicans in many
Rico is
ways.
a floating
They talk
island
and
of
talk
trash,
and talk.
that's literally what's happening.
So
Kamala Harris ain't helping them with their
Jeb Bush, let's
epidemic.
say he's
They have
president.
trash
Oh, yeah,
all over
yeah.
their island.
So let's say Jeb Bush is president. He knows it's no good to have a $2.5 billion plant built right near our country.
And it's funny
How does it
because
help us,
Puerto
right?
Rico
So,
had every
here's what
representative
happens.
come forward and
He knows it's
support
no
him
good. Have
for
a
the
little pressure. Don't let
Republican
the plant be
nominee.
built. And he might
Puerto
even say,
Rico
don't let the
loves
plant
Trump.
be built. Might even call the head of Ford.
And they know
Plant's not
Trump
gonna be
didn't call them trash.
And then the next
Guess
day,
who did call
he'll
people
be
trash?
called by special interests that
The
supported him,
comedian said Puerto
His
Rico is a
lobbyists who
floating
push
island
him around
of trash.
like a piece of candy.
Joe Biden, the guy you voted
Or his
for,
donors
called half of
who have stock in
America
Ford.
Donald support
And they
Trump,
say, you can't do
Trump
that. I helped
supporters
you.
garbage.
You
He
can't hurt
called
them.
us garbage,
You just can't do it.
American
He folds
citizens.
in about 2 seconds. So let me say Trump is president.
And the funny thing is,
me
at
say
Kamala's rally, George Lopez said every Mexican is a thief.
So I don't need anybody's money.
So I love how you have 2 tiers
Actually,
of
people are
standards.
setting up packs all over the place. I
It's
don't
hilarious.
care. If they want to give it to me, I'll take it. Okay? But I don't need money. I don't want money. So I'm doing my own. You'll see that on Thursday or whatever the hell day I
Yeah,
find.
you're right. MAGA
You'll see I
isn't
did
half
really well.
America.
Much better than
It's
anyone
more
ever
than
thought.
that. You know how many kids
Just the opposite.
support
So
Donald
here's the
Trump
story.
that can't
So
vote?
Trump is president. So I'll get a call from the head of Ford.
You know how many people that migrated
I'll say,
from
"Got
a
it built
communist
in the
country
United States,
or a
sorry."
socialist
I'll say,
nation
but
where they
Mr. President,
100% support
really,
Trump because
we don't
they
want to say, here's the
left
story.
their
Number one,
communist country
congratulations
to
on your new
go
plant
after
in
the
Mexico.
American dream and they
And
see
number
it's not
two,
here anymore?
we're going to charge you 35% for every car,
So many people
truck,
that
and
can't
car.
vote.
You said it.
So many people that can't vote love Trump. Type in a Japan Trump rally.
Here's what would happen.
Type in
Here's what
a
would
European
Now,
Trump
this
rally.
isn't
There's
like
people that march through the
99%
streets in
This is
different
100%. In fact,
countries
you know
because
the
they know
negotiators, the
Trump
killers
is the
that I told
best
you about, these
option
bad
for the
people, I
world.
wouldn't even bother calling them because this is too easy.
And the funniest
I
thing
can
ever,
just
guys,
do this, like, with a couple of phone calls.
is that
So here's
world
what would happen
leaders
with
actually
Trump.
call Trump.
I will get
They
some
see
calls.
Trump as the
He'll
true
say, "Mr.
leader of the
President, this
United
is
States
terrible.
right now.
Please,
They go and
sorry,
meet with
can't do
him
anything. Sorry,
in
I don't
Mar-a-Lago.
care. I want you to build here. I want jobs
Netanyahu
in the
of
United
Israel.
States.
The president of Ukraine, your guy, your little actor dude,
So,
came to Florida to meet with Trump. The president of Ukraine, just a month ago, met with Trump because he's seen as a leader of the United States, and he's not even in office
I'm a donor.
yet.
Somebody said, "Oh, you gave to the Democrats." Of course, I give to everybody. I want to get everything done. Everybody loves me.
Lucan channel, I'm
Everybody
proud of you.
loves- I
Make
give to
sure you
everybody.
grab one of your friends or family
in a lot
members.
of ways,
Take
that's
them.
very
You
bad,
can
because
register
you know what? That's
on the
bad for the
spot.
country. You know, it's bad, but
Jesus
that's the
for
way it
King
works. But I give to everybody.
2024.
They all love me. They
No,
don't love me so much anymore,
Jesus
but-
has been king and will always
But
be.
here's what happens. So he'll
Not
call.
for a year, it's for
I say he
eternity.
falls sometime prior to 5 o'clock in the evening. But he could be tough, and he may last till 12 o'clock the following day. And he'll say please, and 5 guys will
I
call
mean,
me that are
Trump's on
friends of mine,
TikTok,
and
killing
I
it.
couldn't
Look
care
how many
less.
followers
They'll say, no,
he's
you don't
got. Look how
understand.
many
I
likes
want
he
that
got
plant built in the
compared to
United States. I
Kamala.
want jobs in the United States.
He's
I want to
just
bring our
not
industry.
clicking with the younger generation.
Now,
He's
this is
seen
just
as a
one of many
kook
deals.
that laughs at
And
everything.
here's what happens. I will get a call probably the first day,
Anyone
but
with
maybe the
common
second day, because
sense
they're tough
sees that
negotiators.
Kamala Harris is not a
And
good
I'll say, Mr.
leader.
President, would you reconsider? I'd say, no. I'd say,
It might
Mr.
be
President,
a
we've
good
decided
side
to build
piece,
the plant
you know?
in
A
Phoenix.
little arm
okay?
candy back in the day when she was good looking.
It's
You
so
know, for
simple.
like Willie Brown
It's so
and
simple.
Montel
We have
Williams.
totally incompetent people. Now, some people say they're bad people. I don't think they're that smart to be bad people.
Hey,
I
Mr.
just think,
Boston, I got a
honestly,
kid
I mean, a lot
too.
of people get
And
angry
the
when I say,
thing
I don't
is,
think they're
honestly,
bad. I think they're stupid.
I'm
I
trying to
think
find
they're
a different
incompetent.
country because if it starts getting
So,
bad, you got to
we've
get
gotta
out
take
before
our
everyone
country
tries
back.
to.
We've got to get rid of Obamacare.
Because once they start grabbing our rights, once they start covering our mouths and stomping on our free
We've
speech,
got to repeal
you
it
know
and
it's too
replace
late.
it with something
Everyone's
good. And
going
we
to
have to
start
take care. You
rushing
know, I
out
know
of
this
here,
doesn't sound
and
very
countries are
conservative.
going to cut us
We got to
off.
take care
So
of
you got to
everybody,
get
not
out
just the people
before
up
the
here.
masses.
We got to take care of everybody. Okay, get
But
used to it,
Trump's getting in,
conservatives.
guys.
I love you, conservatives. Get used to it. Let's take care of everybody, please. And by the way,
He's
Obamacare
leading
doesn't.
so
And if you look at the
strongly in
premiums,
early
the
votes where
premiums are going
Republicans never
through the
lead
roof.
in
The
early votes.
deductibles,
He's
frankly,
leading in
you have to
polls
get hit
left
with a
and right. He's
Komatsu
never
tractor in
led
order to
in
use them.
polls.
They're so high.
They always underestimate him. So if they're saying he's leading,
We can do it. You get rid of
add
state
extra
lines, you
3
put
to
it out,
6
you'll have
points.
great care for much
He's
less
killing
money.
it,
The
guys.
country will spend much less, and we will take care of those people that can't do it. We have to. We have to. We have to.
Dude, your family's been here since the
Okay.
Mayflower. I think I go back about 7
We
or
have
8
to build up our
generations.
military.
My relatives fought in the Civil War. They fought to free
I'm
the
in the real
slaves.
estate business. As
They
many
fought
of you have
against
heard.
the
You'll see that in
Democrats,
couple of
which
days,
were
by
the
the way.
Confederates.
I'm in the real estate, and all the time I get listings. A base is for sale, a naval base, a army base, a marine. They're always I said, how many bases are there?
What do you mean,
All the
why are
time I'm
people
getting these
blind to
listings
vote
for
for Trump?
bases.
Just listen to him.
I said, what are we
He
doing?
speaks the truth.
We are
Kamala
hated
Harris is a
throughout the world.
scripted actress.
China is building in the South China Sea.
Kamala
Islands.
Harris was
We can't do
installed
that
by people.
because
You guys didn't
we
vote for
would not
Kamala
be
Harris
able
to
to
be the
get an
presidential
environmental impact
candidate. She
statement.
was
Can you-
installed. She was
We
picked
go through
by
25
someone
years of
higher
being
than
sued
her.
by the environmentalists.
She's
And by the
literally
way, I hate
playing
to
a
say
role.
this, I've
They're
been given
saying,
many
hey, do this
environmental awards. I
interview,
get
do
a lot
this,
of
we'll make
environmental
sure
awards.
it's scripted.
But
You'll know the answers.
We have to
Just
take
make sure
back
you appeal to the
the
masses.
heart of our country. We
Play
have
this
to do
part,
something
we'll get
special.
you in.
We have to bring back,
And
and
then
let me
just
tell
listen
you,
to what we say.
in bringing back
No
our
one
military,
controls Trump.
in
Trump's a
bringing
wild
back our
man.
military, we have to do something else.
Look at that
we
sign,
have
it
to
says
take care
rump.
of our veterans because our veterans.
They're all plants, 100%.
Our veterans
Trump's an outsider. That's
are
why
treated
they're coming
like
after him from every
third-class
angle. The
citizens,
media,
and they're the greatest.
the Department of Justice, FBI,
Now, if you remember a few
government,
days ago,
Senate, Congress,
Bush was asked the simplest question: was Iraq a good thing or a bad thing?
whistleblowers, people
He couldn't give an
accusing SA,
Took him
like
5
all these
days
accusers.
before he said it was bad.
He's an
Now
outsider.
think of
They're
this.
trying to
Think
get
of
rid of
this.
him, but
5
he's
days.
going to get
How
in,
can you have a
guys.
guy like that
He's
negotiating
getting
for
in
5
100%.
days? It took him, and finally he said it was bad. Okay, could have done it like in
He's
the first
only a
3
criminal
seconds.
because they
But it
made
took him
shit
5
up.
days. And if
We
you
all
think
know it.
about
You know it.
we spent $2 trillion,
All
lost
these
thousands of
prosecutions
lives,
against Trump
thousands.
are only because
We have
he's running
wounded
for
warriors who I
president.
love.
It's the
all
only
over the
reason.
place. All of them. They're amazing. I mean, amazing people. So we have wounded warriors all over. We got nothing. And today, Iraq is meeting with Iran to do some kind of a merger. So in 2004, in Reuters, anybody from Reuters back there? I'm sure they are. There was an article in July of 2004. Trump said, don't invade Iraq. Now, I am more for the military, and I am the most militaristic person in this room. I would have a military that's so strong that we would never have to use it because people.
Peace through strength. That's his motto.
People would say, no way we're messing with them. No way we're messing with them. And I'd get along with Putin, and I'd get along with China. You know, China, largest bank in the world is in China. They're my tenant. I just renewed their lease. That's true. Who speaks worse about China than me? No, I do it out of respect. But China, they just renewed their lease.
Trump knows more people through the world than Kamala Harris.
They love it.
Trump has connections everywhere. He knows everybody.
They respect smart things, smart people, smart deals. They have no respect for our country. So with Bush, if you people go with Bush, you're going to lose. I'll tell you one other thing, and we're going to wrap it up now, but I'll tell you something, and this will be surprising to a lot of people. Thousands and thousands of people work for me. Tens of thousands. I've given tens of thousands. I've taken care of education.
Trump knows the middle class person the best because what about what he's about to say right now? Listen.
My people got lucky, but I got lucky too. They're great people. Great people. But ISIS will be in such trouble.
Trump has employed thousands upon thousands of middle class workers, white collar, blue collar.
Believe me.
Trump is a businessman. He knows the middle class better than Kamala Harris. She's never hired anyone.
We're fighting wars, and we're backing all these.
She's never had a normal job.
Honestly,
it's always politics.
They don't care, like the Iraqis. They don't.
She does not know people.
The leadership, there is no leadership.
She doesn't know how to manage. She doesn't know how to look out for people's best interests. She was a prosecutor. Her whole mindset is how to destroy people's lives.
2,300 Humvees. Now think of this. Normally you'd say like 3. How many are there? We sent 3. These are armor-plated Humvees.
Hey guys, let's do a pulse check. Everyone double tap the center of your screen right now. Show your love and support and excitement for this election that's coming up tomorrow.
Which never worked and still doesn't
double
work.
Tap that. Let's get this thing up to 100 right now. 100 likes. Double tap the center of the screen.
One bullet is fired in the air, and the people we gave the Humvees to flee, and the enemy takes them over. And they're better than the ones that our boys and women have. Because they were the best.
There we go, guys. Double tap.
Remember Yemen, how we had the victory, the big victory? It turned out to be a false victory. Because a few months later, it was gone. If you think that those people, if you think that they want Yemen, take a look at a map with that long, beautiful
34 lakes away, guys. Double tap that screen. Come on, let's get it up there.
Do you remember what I said? And I get a lot of credit for this. They said, he's one guy, and I'm a very militaristic guy, but he's one guy that said, don't do Iraq because you'll destabilize. And then Iran will take over, and then somebody else worse than Saddam Hussein will take over the rest. ISIS, worse than Saddam Hussein was never as bad as these people.
Who armed?
These people are brutal. They chop
ISIS,
off everybody's
guys?
heads, especially if you happen to be Christian.
Trivia right now.
They chop off your head.
Who empowered
They
ISIS?
dunk people with a cage. Did you see that? They dunk them and drown them. These people
There was
make
civil
Saddam
war in
Hussein look like
Syria.
a choir boy.
Barack
Okay? And
Obama.
I said this in
Barack
2004.
Hussein
Where was
Obama.
you? Okay, so now Bush goes
Gave
in and he
them
makes a
weapons
mistake,
and
and then
money.
Obama, frankly, might as well have stayed there, but okay. But he made a mistake too. And I said, keep the oil. Do you remember that? And everyone said, you can't keep the oil. It's a sovereign country. You can't keep the oil. I said, keep the oil. We're in there now. You blew it. You shouldn't have gone in. And every other candidate is fleeing. They're all trying to say, well, they didn't know. There was
Hey, if you're
intelligence.
just hopping on the live
They all
right
said
now,
do
this
it. I'm
is
the only one that
Trump's
said no.
first ever
I'm the only
rally,
one that said no.
July 11th,
Keep the oil, I said.
2015.
I've been saying this for 2-3 years. Don't leave. Keep the oil. Because if you don't get it, Iran will get it or somebody else is going to get it. So here's who has it. Iran is taking it and ISIS has it. And ISIS now is building a hotel in Iraq. They're competing with me. Do you believe it? They're renovating this building. They're building a hotel.
Look at all the Trump love in the chat, guys. Love you
and
guys.
I said keep it. And great criticism. Trump said keep the oil. Well, that's a sovereign country. Isn't
Yeah,
that a
someone
horrible
says,
thing to say?
Per la
These are
paz
stupid
en
people we have
el
leading us.
mundo. Vote
So,
Donald.
ISIS, believe me,
Muchas gracias, amigo.
I would take them out.
Viva,
so
viva.
fast.
Ándale, voto Trumpo.
Have to do it. Have to do it. See, I think they overplayed their hand. I actually think they made a big mistake. When they started, like you take James Foley, so great. Such a great guy. I got to know his parents. And
All right, guys. We're almost
when
there.
you I met the
25
parents. They're
likes.
very
Come on,
interesting.
tap that screen.
Joe McQuaid from New Hampshire, who's an amazing guy, said, would you come up and make a
We are
speech? And I
sitting
made a
on the
speech about,
eve of the
sort of like I'm doing
2024
today.
election.
And it was in honor of James McQuaid. That's the
Get
union
out
leader
there,
up in New
vote.
Hampshire. And
Take your
I made a
friends,
speech,
take your families,
and
call
these
your
parents are
friends in
incredible.
battleground
So think of it.
states and say, hey, this is going to be
They
won
did
by
the
a
beheading.
couple
And then
hundred
they've done
votes.
other,
You
and I
got
said,
to
you know,
go
they're
out
making a
there.
big mistake.
I
says,
know you
because if
don't
they
know
wouldn't have done that,
how to do
and if
it.
they wouldn't
Just
keep doing
go and
we
do
wouldn't
it.
have
You
cared.
don't
We
have
could
to
have been
vote
gone.
for all the measures.
But you can't now when you see what they do. You
Just
can't.
make your
Had
voice
they
be
not
heard.
done those things,
If
the
you're
level of
sick
violence,
of the
we're like living
direction
in
our
medieval times.
country's
You know, when
been
you hear
going in,
medieval times,
get out there and vote
you
for
always think
Trump.
we're all civilized.
He's fighting the
It's a jungle.
system
It's
that's
horrible
slowly
out
been
there.
destroying our
But when
country.
they started doing the beheadings, they really, I think they made a mistake. But not with Obama, because he's weak and he's ineffective and he's not respected. Not respected. So here's the problem. Here's the kind of deals we make. James Foley is dead. Great guy, amazing parents. We have Sergeant Bergdahl, a traitor.
No way, Rogan endorsed Trump? Like
So we
officially?
negotiate for Sergeant Bergdahl.
And Joe Rogan was a
no-good
never
traitor.
Trumper.
6
Joe
people
Rogan
were killed
hated
trying
the
to
guy.
find him. 6 young, in this case,
But he
men,
finally woke up and realized,
out
hey, Kamala's a
to try
way
and
worse
get him.
option.
6 of them never came back. 6 people died. And we have Sergeant Bergdahl. And here's our deal. This is just like the
Bruce
stupid
Willis.
deal that we're making with Iran or nuclear. This is just
That's
like everything
so
else
cool.
we do. The
Way to
deals
go,
we
Joe
make with China,
Rogan.
the deals we make with Mexico.
Do you guys
We don't know what we're doing.
Elon
So,
Musk endorsed
we
Trump?
get
Just kidding. He's
Bergdahl, a
been
no-good traitor. And
campaigning
frankly,
for him
I
for
would
like
negotiate deals every
3
once in a while.
weeks
Not too
straight
often.
in Pennsylvania.
But I'd send them back. And if they don't want them, send them back anyway. I want to renegotiate
Tulsi
that.
Gabbard,
They get-
RFK.
They get
The team
5
Trump is assembling
killers
is
that are
worth
right now back
a
on the
vote.
battlefield, trying to kill everybody,
Who's
including
Kamala Harris's team? The
people
guy
in
that
this room.
shot a
And
corn
these were the
video
5
in the
people that
Senate
they
building?
most wanted. So I call Obama the 5
Cross-dressers
for 1
working in the
president.
White
Who would
House?
make
Like,
that
come
deal?
on, guys.
Now, I don't think it's because he's a bad person. Some people say bad person. I just say, who would make a deal like this? But these are the same deals that we make with all of these other countries. When I look at Japan, I just got over from Los Angeles. We had a tremendous crowd there, too. We had a tremendous crowd. And we had a big one in Las Vegas this morning.
All right, guys, 19
But when I
likes
look at
away.
these
Double
massive
tap
boats,
that
I've never
screen.
seen boats
Show
like
your
this.
love,
The
guys.
biggest boats
We're
with
almost there.
cars coming from Japan. And then we can't sell corn. We can't sell beef. It's peanuts. We can't sell beef. So we do about 20% to
I
their
feel like
100%.
Trump was
So I
made
said
for
an idea on the
rallies.
way
He
over.
just
I said, tell Japan,
that's his favorite place
that's
to be.
okay. Everything's fine. We're going to cut your orders down to 20%. Let it match. Let it match. Simple deal. Simple deal. And I had another idea that's also very simple. When Mexico, and you remember, when Fidel Castro took over, he opened his prisons.
So this
sent
is Trump's
everybody over
first
to the United
rally
States.
ever,
we
July
accepted
11th, 2015. Look
And
at
it
the
was
old
hell.
signs.
We didn't send them back. We accepted them. In a much, much, much more sophisticated way.
He
Mexico's doing
enacted
that
something
to us.
called
Because
the
why would
United
they want to have
States
a prisoner
Canada-Mexico
like these 2
Agreement,
horrible
a new trade deal
people
with our neighboring
that
countries,
hurt so
which
badly,
brought in
destroyed,
billions and
but hurt
billions
so
of
badly,
dollars.
the Shaw family.
They said, why
and
didn't he
Kate's
pay
family.
for the
Why
wall?
would they want to have
That's
them in
how he
jail
did
for 40
it.
years paying for it? So I had an idea. They should have had
He
him.
made a deal, a
The
new
one with
trade
Kate came
deal,
over 5
which
times.
brought in billions
In my
of
opinion,
dollars.
he was pushed out by Mexico. They don't want him. They don't want to take care of him. Why would they want to take care of him? And believe me, Univision, which I'm suing, by the way, for $500 million because they broke a cut. But Univision is doing the work of the Mexican government. And I don't blame the Mexicans. I respect Mexico. I don't blame
Did you
the
guys
Mexican
hear
government.
Trump suing
I just wish
CBS
our people were
for
smart.
60 Minutes,
They're
where they
really smart doing
doctored
that.
an interview
They're
and
sending them
put
to us,
different
and we're either
answers
putting them
in
in
for
jails
questions?
or letting them go free.
That's when you know you're
Which is
living
even
in a
worse.
TV show.
But we have to
When
do
they
something. So I
change
had an
reality,
idea.
when they sell you
I
lies.
said, every time an illegal comes to this country through the border, because Mexico is pushing them over. Remember that. And by the way, unbelievable people are coming. A lot of people that are illegal are great people. Just let's get it straight. They don't want to give it straight because the press are liars. They're terrible people.
See, there's good immigrants. I agree with that 100%. But they've let in so many criminals. Look at the migrant crime going on.
So Mexico
Jocelyn
is sending lots of people. And by the way, they're coming from all over
Riley.
the world.
Look at all these poor,
Including
beautiful
the Middle
young
East.
people that
Why
had a
not?
whole life
Come
ahead
in,
of them
come on
that
in.
were
We're
ripped
stupid,
out by
we'll take care
someone
of
that
you. We'll
shouldn't
pay
have
you.
come across our border.
Get sick, we'll take care of your hospitalization. What kind of a plan do you want? So I had an idea.
14 likes
I think
away,
it's
guys.
good.
Double tap that screen. Come
Every
on, get
time
us there.
Mexico really intelligently sends people over. We charge Mexico $100,000 for every person they send off. Now,
Australia for Harris. Weren't you guys
they
like
make
a
so
bunch of
much money that
slaves
that's
and
peanuts. It's not
criminals
a lot.
got thrown on
Could
an
have made it
island?
much higher, but I'm nice.
You just
I'm in a good
want
mood
to
today.
keep that theme going on?
We charge Mexico
Fun fact,
$100,000 for every
Kamala
person.
Harris's
You'll see
family
that it'll
were
start
slave
to stop
owners.
because that starts to
Bet
add
you
up.
didn't know that.
It starts to add up. We have to secure our borders. We have to do something to take
Google
back
it
our
right
country.
now. Google, was Kamala Harris's grandfather a slave owner?
I mean, don't kid yourself, folks. What took place today, even by the dishonest press, what took place today is being seen all over the world.
Yeah, you're
Look
right.
at all those cameras
Australia
back
could
there.
have her.
This is being seen all over the world. People know.
All right, guys, really important question. Where to invest money? All right?
It's a term
Trump's
I haven't
biggest
heard for
industries.
years, but I was thinking
He's
about
trying to
it.
put tariffs on
today.
foreign countries that put tariffs on our vehicles, which means we cannot
Thank you.
export our
It's a
vehicles
term
into
that
their
I haven't
countries
heard
to sell it
years.
into their market.
But I really think
His
it applies
proposal
now
with the
more than
tariffs
maybe ever
is if
before.
they put tariffs on
And
our
that's the
stuff, we're
term,
going to put
the
tariffs on their
silent
stuff.
majority. Have you all
Which
heard
means
that?
if they lift their tariffs, we ain't
You
putting
don't hear
tariffs
it.
on them. So it's going to open up
You
our
don't hear
market.
When
So
people
I would say
start
one of
cutting
the
up their
best
credit cards at
industries to
Macy's
focus
and won't
on
go to
is
Macy's anymore.
American-made
when-
vehicles.
When all of these
All right?
things, and that's
If
a
we
big
get to
story, but
open
nobody
up
wants to
into
write it,
different
that's fine. I don't
markets
care
that
about
don't
that.
let us sell our cars
when you
there,
see the kind
it's
of
going to boom.
power
Beyond that,
the silent
American
majority
manufacturing
has,
for
and the silent
automobiles
majority is a
are
problem. They want to
being
go out, they want to lead a good
exported
life,
to
they want to work
different
hard, they want to
countries
have their
for
family,
the
they
production
don't
of
want to be
vehicles.
involved in
A
coming
lot
here
of
and
plants are
waiting on a
closing
line
down.
for
A lot of
hours and
American
hours and
jobs
coming
are
in
being
and listening
lost
to
because
Trump.
all these American auto companies are outsourcing their work to Mexico
But the silent
through China's
majority is
giant
back,
plants they're
and we're
building.
going to take the country
So
back.
I would say, as soon as you start seeing the automobile plants coming back, we're going to see a big,
And we are
big
going
growth
to
in
make
technology
America
and
great
vehicles.
again.
I foresee
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
foresee
Thank you.
hydrogen vehicles. I foresee a leap in battery technology. So I definitely keep an eye not on lithium, but look at these next generation batteries that they're working on, which would double the mileage that you could go, double the efficiency, double the charging time. So
Thank you
look
very
up
much.
next generation batteries and do your own research on what companies are leading the front for that. Beyond that, Trump has also stated he wants to lead the world in VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. So the thing is, those are flying cars. Trump wants to lead the world in the production of flying vehicles.
Most people have no clue
So
that
what
the
you wanna
easiest
do,
way to
guys,
see in the
is
dark is not with a flashlight.
take a
It's
look-
actually with this new gadget
Take a
that's
look
taking
at
the
some
US by storm.
tech
It gives
journals,
you
all
hands-free
right, and
lighting
see what
exactly
kind of
where you need it, so you
American-based
never have to fumble with a
vertical
flashlight
takeoff
again.
and
A
landing
small
vehicle
startup
companies
dedicated to
are
making
out there.
tools easier for
Kitty
everyone
Hawk
has
has
just
been doing
revolutionized the
a
industry with a
lot
product
of
that puts
research,
a bright light
but
right
they
on your
actually
fingertips. For
curbed
years,
their
team
project
watched as
because they
people
were
struggled with
overtaken by
clumsy
another
flashlights
company.
that never really worked. With
Do your
years of
best to
product
look into
development
that because
experience
it
and a
branches
passion for
off into
helping others,
different
they set out to
industries.
find a
It's a
solution.
big,
After
big
extensive
company out
research,
there, guys. So just understand, Trump is going to bring American manufacturing back to where they've left our country, but now they're coming back. So if I were to invest my money would be on American manufacturing. A lot of companies are going to become US based, and then they're going to get NSE.
I'm thrilled to be back.
So
back in
pay
this
attention to the
in this-
industry
Isn't it
Trump talks
this
about most.
incredible Commonwealth with thousands of
So we went
proud,
from Trump's first rally,
hardworking
July 11th,
American
2015,
patriots and
to
hard
his
hats.
last rally of his campaign, which was tonight in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where I went to
People
high
have
school.
no idea how smart they are. The greatest. These are great people. Let me tell you, I love them.
Look at
I'd like
all the
to
hard
begin by
hats in the
asking
background,
a very, very
guys.
simple
They want to
and
keep their jobs in
easy
America.
to understand question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Does anybody disagree? It's dangerous, don't do it. But over the past 4 years, Americans have suffered one catastrophic failure, betrayal, and humiliation after another. Kamala Harris has delivered soaring prices and economic anguish at home, war and chaos abroad, and nation-destroying invasion on our southern border like nobody's ever seen before. She's actually a disaster. My message to Americans tonight is simple. We do not have to live this way. We don't. We don't. And we won't. We won't. We do not have to settle for weakness, incompetence,
No, this
decline,
Pittsburgh
and
rally
decay.
ended
With
probably,
your
I
vote
would say,
tomorrow,
about
we can fix
2
every
hours
single
ago.
problem
Yep,
our country faces and
2
lead
hours ago.
America.
So I was just showing people Donald Trump's first rally ever.
And indeed, the
If
whole
you go
world
back on my
to new
page,
heights of glory.
you can watch the beginning of the live,
We'll help
and it
the
will
world.
show
A
his
lot of people
first
think
rally.
we're
But you can
isolationists,
look it up. It was July
but we want
11th,
the
2015.
world to
And
appreciate
now
what
we've
we're
wrapped
doing.
around to
They
his
have to
last one
appreciate
of the
that we're helping
campaign.
them. When we win
I'm lucky
election,
enough to been to 3 of his
only
rallies.
one day. Oh, does that sound nice? One day from now. Huh?
One in Nevada, one in Arizona,
We've been
and one in
waiting for 4
Coachella,
years for
California.
this. 4 years. Right? Look at all these senators. Look at all these senators.
So we watched his
Congress-
first rally, and this is his
We've been
last
waiting
one
4
of his
years.
campaign.
Now it's
9
what I've been
years
saying.
later.
Only 1 year from now.
And he still acts the same. It's
Only
crazy.
6 months from now. It's 6 months. 6 months. Even when I said only 10 days, it still sounded tomorrow.
Guys, literally, it's tomorrow.
I will end inflation. I will stop the invasion of criminals coming across
If you're
our
not
border, and we will
registered,
stop
go
it
do it in
rapidly.
person and vote on election day.
I will strengthen our military. And as you know, we totally rebuilt our military, but now it needs a little strengthening after giving a big chunk of it to Afghanistan. Figure
That's
that out.
insane. Did you guys see
Figure that one out.
the parade the
I
Taliban
will
put on with
restore
our
peace in the
machines?
world, and I will rescue the American dream.
Type in Taliban
Together
military
we will begin
parade.
the 4 greatest
That's all our
years
machinery.
in the history of our country, and we will launch the most extraordinary economic boom the world has ever seen. And
Hey,
we'll
we're
do it
4
by
double taps away, guys.
utilizing
Double tap
the
the center of your screen. Show your love.
If you vote for Kamala, you will have 4 more years of misery, failure, and disaster. Our country may never recover. Vote for me and I will deliver rising wages, soaring income, and a colossal surge of jobs, wealth, and opportunity for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed, every one of them.
Oh, he's so racist.
A vote for Trump means your groceries will be cheaper. So many people mention, I go in, so many people mention groceries, that beautiful but simple word, groceries. Sir, my
We
groceries.
did it, guys.
You
102,
don't
baby.
think of it
Let's
that way,
go.
but that's what they mention more than
Thanks for
anything.
showing
my
the love.
groceries. Your paychecks will be higher, your streets will be safer and cleaner,
That's what I want.
your communities will be richer, and your future will be brighter than ever before.
I got a 2-year-old daughter. I care about her future and her safety.
This will be the golden age of America. Just a few months ago,
Idaho for Trump.
in a
Let's
beautiful
go.
field in Pennsylvania, not far from where we are tonight, an assassin tried to stop our movement.
But one thing I gotta say, guys, they could have took Trump's life. All right. He could in fact not win the election. But this is not about Trump, the man. All right. He started a movement that's never, ever, ever going away. So all the lefties that think once Trump's gone, it's over, it's only begun. Because the truth is, the whole movement hasn't been about Trump. It's been about the message. And the message lives on forever. He has ignited
But
a
that
movement.
brush with death did not stop us. It only made us more determined to finish the job.
Amen, Blue
We
Wolf.
had only just started.
It's scary having a daughter. And hearing these stories about Lake and Riley and Jocelyn. All these people that were taken off of this beautiful earth way too early. From people that should have never come across our border.
Thank you very much.
His message
This
is
is
to
a
make
frisky
America
group.
great again. There was a point in time where we had the best educated population in the world. We had the healthiest population.
Many people
We
say
fought world wars and we won them.
that God saved me
We
in order
went
to save
to
America.
the Olympics and we came back with the gold medals.
Many
We
people
revolutionized the automobile.
And with your help,
We had the
will
biggest
fulfill that
advancement
extraordinary
in medical
mission together.
history.
We're going to
The
save our
stuff that
country.
came out of America was
Many
only
people have said
thought
that.
about in dreams.
To every citizen across
America
this land,
was
I
the
am
staple
asking
of the world.
for
That's why so
the
many
honor
people
of your
rush
vote.
to
I don't
here.
want your money. I don't
America
want
is
anything.
the
I just
shining
want your
city
vote.
on the hill.
We are.
But since the 1960s,
We are on the 5-yard
we've been in
line.
a massive
I would
decline.
actually say we're on the 1-yard line.
We have fallen to one of the most unhealthy populations.
And
One of the
some of
unsafe, one of the most unsafe
that's a
countries.
lot of fake news back there.
Our
Look at that.
education level, we sit at 137 out of 168.
You know, for a person that they hate,
It's
they
the
sure do
leadership.
show up,
It's not
right?
Trump. It's not Kamala Harris. That is not the problem. It's the system that's been in
That's a big
place
group of
that has
people.
let our country fall off of the podium. They
Some
do
are
not
actually good
deserve
and
to
some are
keep
just
their
absolutely
positions. They
terrible.
do not deserve to keep their jobs.
All right, thank you for being here.
Trump's an outsider going against that very system that's trying to
It
protect
shows that
itself.
ratings are more
That's
important than hatred.
his message.
I've always said that. As your president, I will fight for you every single day with every breath in my body. I will fight.
Scully, make sure you get your neighbors. Call your friends. Call your
Together we will
coworkers.
save this
Say, hey,
country.
this is going to be close.
We will defeat the
And
corrupt
you can't
system in
bitch
Washington,
if you didn't
and
vote.
America's future will be an absolutely incredible one. That's what it
No
is.
one's happy with the direction the
But we gotta
country's
start
going on.
immediately.
And
It
if
can't
they are
wait any
happy,
longer. It's not
they're
gonna be possible.
sadists and they like the destruction
This
of
is
our
all you
country.
really
No one
need
likes
to
the
know. It's
direction we're
simple,
going in.
not particularly beautiful as a statement, but very simple.
They think the same
It's-
lady that's in office right now is
At
going to
Built
solve the
Ferguson,
problem.
we know when it
Like, take a second. Realize that, guys. A vote for Kamala is a vote to keep the same people in the same office chairs. Obama's pandemic playbook. Where was his PPE? Where was his ventilators? Where was this plan he had? There was no
And I don't know
stockpile.
if you know, but Kamala
Obama
has
had
a
no
rally
plan.
going on. And when
The
I
only
say
plan
little, I
he
mean
had is
little.
to make sure it happened.
It's a competing rally. It's not this giant place that's sold out. What a beautiful.
Have fun
It's a
dressing
beautiful
up. Put
place.
makeup on. That's all I
But
gotta say.
and it's quite embarrassing. It's all over the
Our
internet.
voice is the only power we have.
She's screaming, and the people, it's about 100 people. They're not moving. They just want to go home.
Exactly.
Just be done.
Mr. Boston, what he just
It's
said in the
not
chat,
quite
guys,
this.
is 100%. The Rockefellers. The Great Reset, the World Economic Forum, they say it right to
see the
us,
front
and you
row?
don't pay attention.
You have a lot of front row Joes. We have more front row Joes here than she's got at her big rally. This was the big one. No, it's a whole host.
Yeah, it did,
She tried
Mr.
to get
Boston,
stars to
100%.
come
The
in.
Bilderberg
They won't do
Group,
it, actually.
my goodness.
She'd go and get Beyonce. No. Beyonce would come
100%.
in.
Call your neighbors.
Everyone's expecting a couple of songs.
Say, hey, your cost of living went up
And there were no
$30,000
songs.
in 4
there was
years.
no happiness. It's
Think
just
about
like,
it. Get
Give
out.
me my check.
Make
I
your
want to
voice
get out
be
of
heard.
here.
Stand up to the system that's been bringing us down for generations. Say, we're done taking
But you
this shit.
always put the
We're
star.
making
She
a
should have
stand
learned
right
this from
here.
Crooked Hillary.
We're not voting for the
Always
same
put the
people that
star
have been in
after
office
you.
for
That way the people
generations.
stay.
We're electing an
Finish your
outsider
speech.
that's going
Let
to
the
shake
star. And
things
even
up.
if she doesn't sing, they booed like hell. But the press didn't play that. They booed both of them the hell out of the stadium. But you know what? Even though the act was terrible, it's like by that time you're out of the
Scully,
building.
I agree
Elvis had
with you
left the building.
100%.
Elvis has left
Life
the
was
building.
certainly better under
Now
Trump,
it's terrible.
and I look
They
forward
forgot.
to having
They
him back in
obviously
the
forgot
office.
to get a star tonight, but we don't need a
The only
star.
thing I gotta say to the people on the left is
We don't need.
you need to
I
cut the
never had a
rhetoric.
star.
You need to stop attacking him. You need to quit hating the man, and we need to unite. And same goes if he doesn't win. We gotta stop fighting each other. We're not the problem. Like
Just
I've
to
said
bring it
100 times,
back into
the
serious
system
thing.
that's been
We
in
don't
place
need a
for
star
generations is the
because we
problem.
have policy. We have great policy.
Scully,
We have great
MAGA
policy.
baby, let's go. Make America great again.
No, we do have great policy. Look, they have horrible policy. They've got
That's
a
right,
machine that's
Mr. Boston.
incredible. They've got a vicious, horrible group of people. A machine.
People are quick
where they
to
can have
attack
open
something
borders
they
and let
don't
people pour
understand
into the
100%.
They
I
can have
debate people on
transgender
TikTok all
operations
day
at any
long.
age, anytime
And
they
as
want.
soon as you start making sense and sharing
They
facts,
can be pushing men
they
playing
can't
in
stand it.
women's
They gotta
sports.
run. She's a
And
witch.
because they have
She
she's
does.
just a
She
vessel,
talks in
and
like
Joe Biden
gypsy
was just a
spells.
vessel. It's a group of
I
very
rebuke
powerful
her in the
people
name of Jesus,
that are
100%.
probably people that hate
Have
our
you ever
country.
noticed
They
how
want to
Kamala
destroy our
Harris'
country.
eyes are like
Somebody
pure
said, "Are they
black?
dumb? Well, who would have these?"
Have you
It's
seen the
embarrassing when I
photos where
say,
she
"We will
looks like
keep
she has
men
no
out of
whites of her
women's
eyes?
sports." I'm
It's
saying,
just like a
can you
demon.
imagine saying that 10 years ago? They'd say, "This guy's cracked up. This guy's crazy. Who the hell's going to have men playing?" Did you see the Olympic boxing where two people who transitioned? They transitioned from men to women.
Savannah,
Just a
you're
light
funny.
jab. That was the end of
But
that
really,
one.
don't play with that witch stuff. It's
You
no
know, a
good.
jab, for those that don't know, but that's just sort of like a defensive punch. Being and the young lady who's a
She is
champion
evil.
walked back to the court. She was from Italy, beautiful young
She's
lady.
known
which I'm
for
not
being
allowed
a
to say. You can't say
prosecutor in
beautiful, something
California
beautiful.
where
But
I
she was a
live.
beautiful young.
She
In
used to
politics, you're not allowed to
prosecute
call a woman beautiful anymore. It's the
transnational
end of your
gangs,
career.
which means
So please
gangs that
delete the
come
word
from
beautiful.
different
Thank you very much.
countries. She's seen
Well,
the
60
crimes
Minutes
they committed.
deleted the whole
She's seen
damn
the lives that they
answer.
ended and destroyed. And yet she becomes the Caesar,
So I'm allowed to
the
do that,
border
aren't I,
czar,
Susan Wiles?
where she's in control of the migration in
But
the
America
United
will be
States, and
bigger,
she
better,
lets over
bolder, richer, safer, and
14,000
stronger than ever
convicted
before.
murderers. That's insane. That's evil.
Tomorrow
For
you
someone
have
that
to
used to
stand up and tell
prosecute those
Kamala
type of people, you
that you've
just let
had
them
enough. You
over?
can't take it anymore.
What
She's
kind
the
of
least
prosecutor
talented
are you?
person we've ever seen in
They
government.
want votes.
She allowed our borders to be open. She's allowed bad things to happen.
Did she
She
claim to
allowed
be
a
native?
man who was
Because
grossly
all her like
incompetent
childhood photos
to
is
remain in
her
the
like
most
a
important
Indian,
position
like
of
straight out
any
of
country in
India
the world
Indian,
when they're
like
talking
Hindu,
nuclear
like
weapons
red
and they're
dot on the
talking
forehead.
wars. And she still says, "Oh no, I didn't notice anything."
And then when
If
she became
if
like
she didn't
the
notice
Attorney
anything
General
wrong,
of California,
then she's
everyone
got
was
a
saying,
bigger
"Wow,
problem
she's
than
the
he
first
has.
Indian Attorney General." And
A lot
then
of people ask
and
us,
then
what's
all
the
of a
difference?
sudden it's, oh, she's going to be the first black woman. It's like she's a chameleon. Kamala the chameleon. She'll play whatever part you guys want to hear, and we're all hip to it. We know what the fuck's going on. We know it's all a lie.
President in history, Kamala you're fired. Get out.
There we go, guys. Double tap the
You're
screen for
fired.
Kamala, you're fired. We gotta play that one back.
Ministry, Kamala, you're fired. Get out.
Yeah, baby.
Done.
Here we
You're
go,
the
guys.
worst
I
vice
hope he
president
says
in
it
history.
on
He's
his
the worst president in history.
speech.
Kamala, you're fired. Get out. Get out. You're fired.
Yeah, baby. That gets me so pumped up. I can't wait till Kamala's fired. Hey, thank you, Scully. I do appreciate you.
See, I consider all those guys back there with the big muscles. And it's not my
I
thing,
truly
but
don't
consider
want to
them
just
really
post
beautiful.
political stuff,
They're
but right now
beautiful
it's so important to have
And they
your
are
voice heard.
productive
And I
people.
feel like there's a
They
lot
make
of
our country work and
undereducated
run.
people that have never
They
seen
built our
Trump
country.
talk
They did.
consistently. They only see sound bites. So if I could share a full rally, including
And
his
then you
first
have
rally ever,
stupid politicians
maybe someone
that
will
let
see
them down. And
he's a
those
different
companies
person
got
than the
taken out
media
of
makes him out to
Pittsburgh
be.
and every place else. Like you take candy away from a baby, but now we have the exact opposite.
I
If we win
honestly rather go to
Pennsylvania,
bed
we
early,
will win
but
the whole
I'm
thing.
doing
It's
this
very
in the
simple.
hopes that someone is on the edge and they don't know who to vote for tomorrow, and they're wondering, why should I vote for Donald
And I do
Trump?
believe it is. I would say you have to make.
And
I
it's
do
because he's
believe it is
standing
too
up
big to
against
rig. I
a
think it's too
system
big
that's
to
been
rig.
in place for
They'll
far too
try.
long that only
And they
enrich
are
and
trying,
protect
you know.
themselves. They do not care about
It's
our
too big
best
to rig. This
interests.
is a big movement.
They're not
This is,
improving our
you know,
education. They're not improving our health.
we did great in
They're not
2016.
improving our
We did
GDP.
much
They're not
better
helping
in 2020.
businesses. They're
But a lot of
overregulating
bad
and
things
overtaxing
happened.
us. We're done with that
He turned
shit.
out to be a brilliant
We're making a
candidate from
stand
his
right here.
basement that nobody ever heard. No, this is that big,
So
powerful, vicious
if
party.
that is you,
It's a
where you're
vicious
stuck on the
machine.
edge and you're
I mean, they can take all these
undecided,
bad
there's
ideas
a
and win
clear line
elections.
in
It's like
between
there's only
good
way
and
you can do
evil
that
right
one
now.
way. There's only one
You
way.
can see the party of
But you
common
know what it
sense,
did
and
teach
you can
us?
see the
One way
party
it
of
was
make
good because it
pretend.
taught us how bad
All the
a
stuff you gotta
communist
believe to be a
philosophy
Democrat
how
is
bad a
insane, and you
Marxist
know it's not.
philosophy,
It's
how
not
bad
true.
all of this
It's
stuff
a
is.
fad. They go through fads. They take knees. They do this. They
And
dress
we'll really
up.
be able to
They're fake. They're
get our
fake.
country back the way it should be. It's
The
much
key
easier
morals,
because
the
you're going to realize how
essence of
bad
being
it is. It's just
American and living a good
what's
life
happening
never
when we
changes.
go
You
over
want
the
a
economy and the
happy
economic
life
numbers over
with
the last
family, friends,
week.
success,
It's
and
Herbert
the
Hoover
ability
stuff,
to
and I
grow and
never
not
wanted
just
to be
become a
Herbert Hoover. Let me
slave
just
to
tell you,
debt.
the one president I didn't, and there was some that I wouldn't want to either, but in particular because I'm very good at business. I've always been good at business. They're starting to realize that those guys back, oh, they
And the
wanted
sad
me to
thing
be
is
bad,
about
so
this
bad.
whole
But now they're saying, this
unaliving
guy's
of
shit,
babies.
man. He's
You
been
know,
alive.
they call it healthcare.
But
They're acting
listen,
like Kamala Harris
and,
can do something
and if
to
I'm not
change
good
that. They
enough,
can't. They
Elon
use
Musk is
it
good
as
enough because he
something
is
to bait you in to vote for him. Kamala Harris has
Elon,
been in office for 4 years. What have
Elon
they
with
done
that
to help
rocket,
women's
thinking that
health care?
rocket 2 weeks
Nothing.
ago coming down and those engines are blasting, and I said, man, a few days ago it left, it was a beautiful
But this is a really
crystal
important
white.
point,
Now
guys.
it's all like
Lock in
fire
right now.
blazing. They know about that.
In the matter of
Like it went through a
unaliving
steel
babies
furnace, by
or
the way,
women's
but
health
that's
care,
what it did.
whatever you want to
10,000
call it,
degrees coming down
it got sent back
at
to
like
the States. And the way our
20,000 miles
country
an hour.
was
So think of it, a car's
meant to
going
be is
90.
that
You're going, this is
every
like
single
20,000
person's
miles
voice can be
coming
heard.
down,
And
22-story
that's through
building.
voting.
Then it
So
stops.
if every state gets to
Starts
vote
slipping
if
around.
unaliving
Starts
babies is
finding this
legal or
crazy
not,
side
at
in the middle
least
of
your
wherever
voice got to
it
be
was.
heard. When it's in the federal government,
I told this
the
story. I
people
hope I
that
don't bore you with
disagree
it,
with
but
it don't
I
get
had
to
this
have
guy
their
on the
voice
phone.
heard.
I told it
So
at
it's
another
literally the
rally,
best thing
and I
that
don't
could
want to
have
bore. Did
ever
anybody hear
happened
this
in the
story?
matter of unaliving
Should I
babies.
tell it again? It's quick.
Is letting the people vote
I
on
hate
it,
to
not the
tell it.
government.
I hate to double up, but this is good. So I'm talking to this guy, one of the most important
And if
people
you
in the
have
nation
done
in
that, if
his
you've
mind, only in
unalived
his
a
mind.
baby, just understand it's okay.
And
You were
because
probably
I
going
was
through hard
president,
times and
and
someone told you that it was the
they
right thing
say
to do.
most likely
I'm
like
sure it
about a
hurt. I'm sure
96.2% chance.
you're mentally messed up from
Well, we
it. You
can't,
know it
look, we
was
can't
wrong. But the thing is,
remember,
you're
if you remember
forgiven. You're
2016,
okay.
I was
We
given
love
a
you. You are
3%
loved. If your
chance
father wasn't there
of
for
winning.
you,
And then I won
you are
Florida and
loved.
went to
You have a
think of
heavenly
it.
Father just
So she was at
waiting to have a
97
relationship
and I
with
was
you.
at 3. Then she was at, I won Florida. She went down to
If you
92.
feel lost and you don't know where to
Then I
go,
won
you don't
Georgia.
feel
Then I
loved, you
won
have
North
regrets, and
Carolina.
you
Then I
know
won
you've done
South
bad
Carolina.
things,
Then I
turn
ran
away
the
from it.
whole East Coast.
It
And then
says,
people started going
it says
crazy.
it's not
Remember the woman
I
with the
who live,
glasses?
it's Christ
That
who
big
lives in
head of
me.
hair.
That means you get to
She
give
was
up your
screaming.
way
I
of
said to my
life
beautiful
and
wife,
pick up
why
your
is she
cross.
screaming? We're
And
going
you
to make
have an
America
example
great.
of how to live.
Why is she screaming?
Jesus is the answer,
You don't need
100%.
therapy, is what I used to tell myself.
If you haven't heard anything about the gospel of Jesus Christ, it's proving science. Revelations are happening right now as we speak. If you guys don't know who Jesus is, it's not that crazy Christian person yelling at you, telling you you're living your life wrong. It's the opposite. It's saying, come as you are, and you are forgiven, you are loved. He's only there to make you better.
She became
For God so
famous.
loved the world that he
They were going
gave,
crazy.
begot his only Son,
Then she
that
had
whoever believes
a
in him shall have
55% chance. Then it
eternal
was a
life.
49% they weren't
Bam.
crazy. But that was something. So based on what I'm hearing, he's at right now 4%. She's at 4%.
Jesus
And so
is
we
my
never want to
savior,
take
Trump is
anything
my
for granted,
president.
but we're really doing
I used to
well.
think
If you
that
vote,
shirt was corny, but
here's the story.
100%.
We have the ball. It's ours to win. The only thing I ask is that you go out and vote. Because
You
if
hear that,
vote,
guys? Get out there and vote. Call your friends in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Georgia. New Mexico's in play. New Hampshire's in play.
and believe the fake news
Nevada.
when they say this is going to be tight.
Oregon's looking close.
It's really not tight. But they want to do that because they want to get ratings. They want everybody to watch. But you got to do this. You got to just forget those people.
Lock
they
in,
don't
guys.
tell the truth.
Lock
Okay?
in. Listen,
Just-
right here.
No. Well, actually, I didn't even correct him because it's actually better if let everyone think it's going to be tight as hell. But whether it is or not doesn't matter. You have to go out and we have to swamp them.
You hear that, guys?
Everybody's got to vote.
If you could vote twice, I would say vote twice. But that's illegal, and we're not
So over the
Democrats.
past 4 years, Kamala has orchestrated the most egregious betrayal that any leader in American history has ever inflicted upon its people.
Red pill, baby. Let's go.
She has violated her oath, eradicated our sovereign border. This is a sovereign border. Unleashed an army of gangs and criminal migrants from prisons
Mr. Boston,
and
are
jails.
you
toughest
sharing the
people
list?
there are. And I was here with a great group just
Is
the
that
other
the
night.
people to vote out?
I was in Penn State territory, and we
Scully, I love you.
had
You're
a packed
badass.
room. We had a packed, not room, it was a stadium, the place. You know, I always like to say
Mr.
when I come
Boston,
to the arenas,
make
how
sure
many
you
times could
go
we have sold it out?
subscribe and comment that list
if
on
you
one
look
of
at
my
where
last
we were in
videos,
Wisconsin,
because
Milwaukee,
when you
we had a
end a
brand new
live,
gorgeous
the
big arena.
comments
We could have
leave.
sold it
It
out
makes
10
me
times.
very
I'm telling
sad.
you, we could have sold out Madison Square Garden 5
But
or 6
Scully and
times.
Mr. Boston, you've been hardcore homies on here. Make sure you subscribe, and
And
I'm
I
really
always
interested
view
in
it
reading that whole list.
that way. But we had situations where, and we put up videos of the vicious crimes. I don't put them up anymore. You know why?
In
Because the fake
2016,
news
Trump had a
refuses to put them on. And I
2%
have friends
chance
call
of
me. They
winning
love to
the
watch the
election.
rallies. They can't get enough of them, and they're going, President, it's so terrible. You're speaking,
That's
and then you
right.
put up a video on a screen right
Leah,
behind you.
that's my
And the
president
fake
too.
news refuses to. All they have to do, they don't put it on television.
I hope
They
it's
have
a
the
red
thing on
wave.
every
I
one of the
honestly.
stations, and there's one that
Wouldn't it
doesn't
be
go too
amazing
good, but
to have
people think
all
they do.
Republicans in,
Nobody
and
can
then the
figure that one
left
out, I'm
goes,
sure.
"Oh my goodness,
They
look
don't treat
at
me
all
good.
this stuff
But
that's
that's
getting
okay.
done."
But listen, they can't move.
Democrats
the
have been in
They
power
can't move. All they
12
have to do
out
is
of the
take that
16
camera and go
years.
like this, 1 inch over.
And they're blaming Trump for all of it.
What's going on, guys? Built this little mini gym.
Like, let that sink in real quick. Democrats have been in power 12 out of the past 16 years, and they blame Trump for everything. Like, come on, guys. Common sense. You're blaming Trump when you've been in power this whole time, ripping apart our country.
I don't really bother with it anymore. It's
The
a terrible
lefties in the
thing.
chat.
Terrible
Let's
thing.
hear
We have to get that
one
to straighten out because I think
accomplishment the
without
Democrats have done in
the
the
free and
past
fair
10 years.
press, it's very hard to do what we want to do. It's
20 years. Let's
it's a
hear
very
20
hard
years.
thing. Very hard thing to.
Because real quick for the lefties, I'm gonna break this down real quick. The American Civil War, the party that was fighting to keep slaves were Democrats. The Republicans, which were Abraham Lincoln, was a Republican. The people that voted to let African Americans vote in elections were Republicans. The Democrats were the ones that formed the KKK. Wake up to history and wake up to what's going on right now.
Oh, those Penn State guys, I wanted them to wrestle the migrants. I told, the UFC, Dana White. Oh, they killed me in this. I told Dana, you ought to set up your League of Champions, unbelievable, best fighters in the world, and a migrant league.
Now the thing is with Trump and Epstein, I looked into this because I'm always trying to find a reason not to support them. All right, just being honest.
But
I'm looking for a reason not to.
I felt very
because all these people talking all this shit kind of makes you say, okay, what bit of this is true? Trump did fly on Epstein's airplane, but it was from New York down to Trump's casino. And Trump had his family, which were young at the time. And the second Epstein tried bringing underage girls into his casino, he turned them away and kicked them out of the casino. Epstein tried picking up on an underage girl at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club, and he got kicked out of the club. After that, Trump stopped talking to him. Trump was someone that came forward to report the things that Epstein has done. He blew the whistle on Epstein. And who did Epstein get arrested under? Got arrested under Trump.
It's one of those things. They're pretty good.
And P. Diddy. I've seen photos of P. Diddy and Trump. Trump
because the United States is now an occupied country.
Finance rap people. He would help them start labels. He was a financer. He would help people become stars.
Look at what's happening in all places. Springfield. How about Springfield?
Trump was
Ohio?
the most famous guy in America before he was president.
We're an occupied country.
So
And those are just the places you hear about. But they're taking over large sections of the country. And Colorado. Remember Colorado? They're the ones that started to.
Mr. Boston, there's a list about the flight logs. That just means people been on the plane. There was a court case, an actual court case with Ghislaine Maxwell, where the victims of the crimes actually stated the perpetrators. The victims named off all the people that did bad things to him. Trump was someone that came up and they said, nope, never even gave him a massage.
Trump has the right to run for president. He wanted to be off the ballot. And the people in Colorado, and you know who is more angry than the Republicans? The Democrats, the regular, not the politician Democrats. And they showed me with polls where I was leading in a state that normally,
like I just said, in the court case,
you can't count too much
the prosecutors were asking, have you ever met Donald Trump? And they said yes, just through association, through events. He was never part of any massages or any of the bad things.
From heaven.
I've looked into all this. I've looked into all of it.
Just for one night. He'd only take 1 second because, God works faster. God works faster, Megan, than anybody else I can imagine. So we only need God for 1 second. He'll do the job. He'll do the job and he'll be gone. You'd see we'd win a lot of these places. California sends out 38 million ballots. They send them out all over the place. They come back. Nobody knows what the hell is happening. Some people get 8 ballots.
Yeah,
some people get
you
5,
said John Kerry's on that list, right, Mr. Boston?
And I went to California. We had a rally. We had 107,000 people show up. I said, "There's no way I would lose." And I do well with Hispanics.
That's crazy. John Kerry's a
I'm
nutbag.
at 56%
For the past 30 years, he's been saying every 5 years the world's going to
Who
end.
was at 36%? How about that? I think the Green Party got more than she did. I love the Green Party. Jill Stein, this may be one
Yeah,
of I
John
never met her, but she
Kerry,
may be one
I
of my
don't know
favorite
what that
politicians.
guy's on. He's getting a lot of money
But it
from
will
people.
soon be, think
Lobbyists,
of it, we're an occupied
green energy. They're
country,
paying him so much money
but
to
it
go
will
scare
soon
people.
be an occupied
But the
country
truth
no
is, they
longer. It's
used to
not
call
going
it
to be an
global
occupied
warming.
country.
They call it the rising sea
November
level.
5th,
Now it's being
2024
called
will be
climate change
Liberation
because
Day
it
in
might
America.
actually be cooling. And
On
global
day one, I
cooling
will
would be
launch the
far
largest
worse.
deportation
Far worse
program
than
of
global
criminals in
warming.
the history of our country.
Because I rather sweat than wear a jacket. And if it gets too cold, our food isn't going to grow.
And I don't want to do that. I'm not looking to do that.
So
I
wouldn't
don't
it be
want to. I think it's
crazy
terrible
if we
to do,
go
but we have no
electric
choice. These are
and all
murders.
of a sudden we don't have enough CO2 to
13,099
keep the
put
world
out by the
warm
Border Patrol, who, by the way, 2 weeks
and
ago
it
gave me
starts
the best
cooling
endorsement you've
rapidly
ever
to
seen.
where we can't
They said
produce
I'm the
food?
greatest president in
And then all of a
American
sudden they're
history.
like, okay, we got to burn
And I
as
said,
much CO2 as
does
possible.
that include George Washington and Abraham Lincoln? Yes, sir, it does.
Schoolie,
When
I'm
they
proud
say
to
that,
be an
they're all
American.
in, right? Better than Lincoln or Washington. Who would have thought? I wonder what my parents say up there.
Guys, if you're proud to
I
be an
know my
American,
mother's up
drop
there.
an
My
American
father's there.
flag in the chat right now, regardless of what party you're on. I don't care if you're voting for Kamala. I don't care if you're voting for Donald Trump.
But I
If
will
you
rescue
truly
every
love
city
the
and town that has been
opportunity that
invaded
America
and
gives to
conquered. Can you
millions and
imagine?
millions of
We're
people,
talking about these are
the
military
country that's
invasions
been
without the
reaching out
uniforms.
into the
That's all it
world to
is.
help
And we will
keep
put
and
the
fight for
vicious and
freedom,
bloodthirsty
that has
criminals in
built up
jail
other
or kick them
people
the hell out of
all
our
over the
country as
place.
fast as we can.
If you're proud of America, even though
And to
it's
expedite
tattered past,
removals of
if
the
you're proud to be born in this
Trenday
country,
Aragua
double
gang
tap that screen
and the
and put
MS-13
American
gangs
flag in
equally
the
as
chat
vicious.
right now.
Rated in the best hearing aids of
Because this
2024, the Audien
100%
Adam
is
2
the best
series offers
country in the
superior
world. Right
sound
now it's
quality
in
and
a really
functionality
bad
for
condition, but it has the
You know,
potential for
MS-13
greatness.
took two beautiful teenage girls walking to school in
Right
Long
here,
Island. For some
Jocelyn.
reason, we took them out by the thousands.
There's a
ICE.
story about
She wants
Jocelyn,
to defund
poor
ICE.
12-year-old
ICE,
girl.
they're tough as hell, and they're also people that love our country. They took two young girls and they sliced them into pieces.
Someone
as they
threw a
were
Canadian
walking.
flag in.
They sliced them into. They didn't shoot them because that's too quick. They sliced them up
That's right,
and left them
Schooling.
dead.
That's right,
Two
Rochester.
young, beautiful girls walking to
Accidental.
school. And ICE did
Jeanette.
their business. ICE went in
Blue
and took
Wolf.
care of them. But can you imagine? And now she wants to defund
Mr.
ISIS.
Boston,
Defund ICE. No,
Tom.
these are rough people. These are bad
Blue
people.
Wolf, Jeff.
I will invoke. and this
Raj
how
is
far we
all
had to go
Project
back, because in those days
2025.
they didn't
You
play
know the
games.
left has an
I
agenda
will
called the
invoke
World
the
Economic
Alien
Forum.
Enemies
It's
Act
called
of
the Great Reset. Sounds a
1798
lot scarier than Project 2025. Bet you don't know
to
what that
target
is.
and dismantle every migrant criminal
The Great
network
Reset by the
operating on
World
American
Economic
soil.
Forum. Raj, go
And if they
read
come
that and
back
tell me
into our
what's
country,
worse.
it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. And I am hereby calling
You
for
just
the
saw my
death penalty
face?
for any migrant that kills
What's
an
up,
American
guys?
citizen or a
I ain't
law
scared to show my face.
enforcement officer.
My channel is nothing but my face.
Right?
USA.
And I will ban all sanctuary cities in the United States of America.
Good, I'm sick of that shit.
And I am going to immediately do something that nobody's ever heard before.
Uh-oh.
And I've wanted to do it for a long time, but I don't want these guys to do it because they won't do it properly.
Guidestones.
We will immediately stop the drugs pouring across our border.
Oh, I bet the left is
We
really
lose
upset about that.
300,000 people. You don't lose 90. They've been saying 90, 90, 90. we lose 300,000. Everybody in this room knows people that were devastated.
A
Their children
14-year-old
mostly, but
neighbor
the
of mine
parents too. They died.
got unalived by
Fentanyl.
what's
They
coming
put a
across
piece,
the
take a
border.
pin, put
That
a little
that
tiny
Fetty,
piece of
unalived my
fentanyl at the top of
14-year-old
that
neighbor.
pin,
He
and that can
touched
kill
it at a
5 people.
park.
Put a little bit more, it can kill the
He's
entire
no
town.
longer alive
This is what we're
because of
dealing
what's
with.
coming across the border.
Everybody I know is losing sons,
One of my
children,
best friends is
fentanyl.
gone
We
because of it.
lose not 100,000. We lose probably much more than 300,000. So essentially, that's a war, right? That's a
I think
war. We don't
fentanyl's
lose that many
unalived
soldiers
more
if you're in
people.
wars. So we lose
More people
300,000
than
people a
COVID.
year to drugs entering from Mexico. And if they don't stop this poison from flooding into our country, and they can stop it by not accepting it from China, and I'm doing the same thing with China, we're going to tariff the hell out of them. And Mexico, you know, people are...
But I really wanted to show you this, guys. Let me find one that's just not some... Right here. This is the most exciting thing. If you're wondering where to put your money in if Donald Trump becomes president,
I have an idea for a meal prep.
you.
Past generations
Get
of
ready for
Americans
this.
pursued big dreams and daring projects that once seemed absolutely impossible.
Watch this.
They pushed across an unsettled continent and built new cities in the wild frontier. They transformed American life with the interstate highway system. Magnificent it was. And they launched a vast network of satellites into orbit all around the earth. But today, our country has lost its boldness. Under my leadership, we will get it back in a very big way. If you look at just 3 years ago, what we were doing was unthinkable. How good it was, how great it was for our country. Our objective will be a quantum leap in the American standard of living. That's what will happen. Here are just a few of the ways we can do it. Almost 1/3 of the landmass of the United States is owned by the federal government, with just a very, very small portion of that land, just a fraction, 0.5%. Would you believe that? We should hold a contest to charter up to 10 new cities and award them to the best proposals for development. In other words, we'll actually build new cities in our country again. These freedom cities will reopen the frontier, reignite American imagination, and give hundreds of thousands of young people and other people, all hardworking families, a new shot at home ownership and, in fact, the American dream. Another big opportunity is in transportation. Dozens of major companies in the United States and China are racing to develop vertical takeoff and landing vehicles for families and individuals. Just as the United States led the automotive revolution in the last century, I want to ensure that America, not China, leads this revolution in air mobility. These breakthroughs can transform commerce, bring a giant infusion of wealth into rural America, and connect families in our country in new ways. Likewise, through our Strategic National Manufacturing Initiative, which is going to be very big and very, very successful, we will turn forgotten communities into hives of industry, producing the goods we will no longer import from China. We will also have a major initiative on lowering the cost of living with a special focus on lowering the cost of a new car and lowering the cost to build a single-family home. And they will be beautiful homes. And I will ask Congress to support baby bonuses for young parents to help launch a new baby boom. Finally, I'll challenge the governors of all 50 states to join me in a great modernization and beautification campaign, getting rid of ugly buildings, refurbishing our parks and our public spaces, making cities and towns more livable, ensuring a pristine environment, and building towering monuments to our true American heroes. Very importantly, I will also make sure all of these new places are safe. We love and cherish our police.
That's my fucking president right there, guys. That's who I'm voting for. A guy that's ready to shape the future of America. flying cars, brand new cities from the ground up. He's going to take land that the government owns that won't let us have. He's going to take a portion of that and build brand new cities with flying cars in it, giving hundreds of thousands of jobs and houses and giving people the American dream again. You're voting for some lady that will, I don't even know what, just keep doing the same thing they've been doing for the past 4 years. Good on you. Go ahead and vote for Kamala Harris, or you could get on the side that's sick of the direction this country's been going in for the past 50 years, and we could do a U-turn and take us back to the greatest country on earth. God bless you guys. God bless America. For everyone that doesn't know, when you lay your head down tonight and wake up tomorrow's election day, if you haven't gone out and made your voice be heard, grab your neighbor, grab your cousin, grab your friend, dig someone up out of a cemetery. Go out there and vote, all right? God bless you guys. Shout out to the 500 new followers in the past 20 days. Love you guys.